Angling is a series of choices, from an infinite number of options, some simple, like what's your target species, to the complexities of understanding fish location on a seasonal basis. Then there's the myriad of presentation options. It's as mental of a game as physical. Each challenge is different, but the basic process remains the same. For angling is like solving a living, breathing puzzle. And to see the big picture, you need the fishing edge.
Look at the size of that thing.
Wow.
Look at the size of that pike. Oh.
Wood, sunken wood laying all over on the bottom. Some of it were fishing over rocks. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Here,
Oh, right here, I got one. There you go. Another one. And guess what, Michael? Yeah, on that particular bait.
Yeah,
How do you like
yeah.
that?
I like it.
So nice.
There we go.
There you go. There you go.
Good one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at that guy there, beautiful fish. You know, one thing, this early season brown trout fishing really gives a small boat fisherman some really unique Great Lakes fishing opportunities. It's a great feeling to pull the boat out of storage for some early season fishing. It's also a great feeling when you can trust that your motor is going to start fast and run smooth after a long winter. Proper care in winterization is important to ensure that your engine will be ready to run, especially on your first outing of the next open water season. Here's a couple of important things we do each fall before putting the boat away. First, we add seafoam motor treatment to all our fuel. This keeps our injectors and intake systems clean, fuel fresh all year long. Stabilizes fuel by preventing varnish formation and controlling moisture. Secondly, we fog all our air intake systems and cylinders with seafoam spray top engine cleaner and lube. Whether you're storing an outboard or an ice auger, this is a simple process anyone can do. Spray into each carb and throttle body while the motor is running. Then with the motor turned off and cooled down, pull the spark plugs and lubricate each cylinder with a shot of seafoam spray. Also, remember to replace your outboard's lower unit oil and be sure all the water is out of the motor before storage.
Well, right now it's the end of April, and Jimmy and I are up on the south shore of Lake Superior. We're going to do some brown trout trolling. Actually, we're going to fish for what? Browns, rookies, salmon, lake trout, squake.
Possibly a rainbow.
Yeah, there's like 6 different kinds of fish we're going after, but what we're going to do mainly is long line troll and board troll with some new Rapala baits, trying to catch these fish.
The biggest thing is we're going to be fishing with more conventional tackle. We're not using a lot of different things that are associated with Great Lakes fishing, such as downriggers, lead core, various types of copper lines
Right.
and that. It's not that
Gypsy
complex. We're
divers.
taking classic walleye rod. You put a crankbait out, flatline troll, and hopefully get some type of trout. We'll see. Okay.
Ready to fire it up? You know, Jimmy and I are up here on the south shore of Lake Superior, specifically targeting brown trout. We'll catch a few other trout and salmon species along the way, but we are primarily looking for browns. The Great Lakes have some of the best brown trout fishing in the world. Some real giant fish have come out of these lakes. But not all places in the Great Lakes have good brown trout fishing. To find out where the best spots are to fish is often to go online, like to the individual state natural resources websites, and look up the stocking program and see how many fish have been put in and where. There are areas of these lakes where there are a lot of browns stocked, and there are areas where they are not. You want to find locations where brown trout have been consistently stocked year after year, and those are the areas where you'll have your best success. A little more tolerable.
Boy, you got You got the real extendo model.
Oh, yeah,
this is a real trolling net. Yeah.
Yeah, he's staying down good.
Yeah. That's good.
To the side. Yeah, we'll just keep.
If I can keep on moving forward.
Yep, no, that's good.
Shave out our
I'm just keeping some good pressure on him.
Other line here.
I may even be able to actually net him myself if you want to just man the boat.
I'll get him for you.
Okay.
I'm just keeping the boat just tipped forward slightly.
We got us a pretty, feels like a nice one, Jim.
Yeah.
Haven't seen any colors yet though.
Really? You're seriously just gonna leave me in here?
Yeah, I'm fishing deep today, Ike.
Are you kidding me? These are perfect conditions for pulling big bass out of heavy cover.
Yeah?
Heck yeah! Try one of these weedless wacky jigs.
All right, yeah.
It has an offset hook and stainless steel weed guard. Whoa! Oh,
Sorry, Ike.
flip it in there, and its wacky action will have you pulling out one fat bass after another. Please! I can't say anything.
Why take chances with your engines? Protect them from neglect, wear, and tear the easy way with Seafoam Motor Treatment. Seafoam helps to maintain top engine performance by removing harmful deposit buildup from your engine and fuel system. Control moisture in gas and diesel. Stabilize fuel for up to 2 years and lubricate your engines to start easier, run cooler, and last longer. Trust all your engines to Seafoam Motor Treatment, the choice of mechanics for over 70 years.
For years, they've quietly taken you where the fish are. But now the silence is about to break. With the incredible new iPilot Link, your Minn Kota and Humminbird can communicate with each other. So you can hold on a spot like an electronic anchor. Record and return to waypoints and paths. Follow any Lake Master depth contour and more. All automatically and all from your Humminbird or the Link remote. They talk and you'll be speechless.
Closed captioning provided by Seafoam Motor Treatment.
I'm hoping brownie. They're my favorites.
That's a brown. You can tell the way it's fighting. It's not a king, I wouldn't think. Usually they're a lot.
Yeah, they come up to the surface right away.
They're swimming a lot faster. Also, those coho are a lot. This is not a coho, because usually the coho up here are a little bit smaller in size.
There we go.
Nice brownie.
Yep. Perfect. Come on,
Come here, buddy.
Get them in there. Ready?
There you go.
All right.
Got that little rascal wrapped up here.
Okay. Well, we got another one on here.
Where?
This one here. This one here.
Yep.
Hold on.
Whoa.
Brown trout are not native to America. They were originally imported from Germany and are sometimes referred to as German browns. Over the years, they have been stocked into and now inhabit a variety of stream, river, and lake habitats. The trout family is unique in the fact that a big fish is relative to its environment. In small streams, browns usually gravitate towards lower, slightly warmer and more fertile stretches that provide minnows and insect forage. Big fish may run a couple of pounds in these environments. In moderate to large rivers with more fertility, brown trout may inhabit a variety of areas to dine on a wide variety of food sources. While insects are certainly important to their diets, browns tend to grow larger where minnows and small fish provide significant food sources. Depending on what the river offers, big browns may run a respectable 3 to 5 pounds, a hefty 6 to 8, or even reach a whopping 10 pounds on occasion. Today, many of the largest browns on Earth inhabit the Great Lakes, with fish size depending on local conditions. Currently, the area of Lake Superior we're fishing today is known for producing browns up to 6 to 8 pounds, with the big fish weighing in at 15. Yet just a few hours' drive to the east, bays and river mouths along the Lake Michigan western shoreline produce real monsters, from the Door County Peninsula down to about Racine, Wisconsin, where the current world record fish was caught. While the size of brown trout varies according to local conditions, the tactics we're using today will catch top-end browns in lake and reservoir environments wherever they swim. So one thing about doing this kind of trolling, a lot of times color makes a huge difference. And Jimmy and I put out like 3 different colored baits. The one color we did put out was this purple descent. So we had 2 lines out that had purple descent, and both of them went. We got a shallow running shad wrap and a new scatter shad. And those were the 2 of the 4 lines that got hit. So early on, we're already starting to see that they might just be liking purple descent. And before long, we might put 4 of them out just because that's what they want.
Whoa, whoa, hang on. Hang on, buddy. There you go.
I'm gonna get this one out of the way.
I told you, see?
Don't dump them.
What? No.
Don't dump them.
Scatter wrap has been the bait of choice. He was wondering whether I could put another one on.
Yeah, you doubled.
That's one thing when you're fishing like this. It's so weird that these fish are the most color actions, you know, where it's really conscious. It's really weird, and you'll see that a lot of these guys that fish like this have lots of different colored baits and, you know, styles of baits, and it's amazing on how it can make a difference. It really is. These fish can be really... Michael,
I'm gonna kick her into gear here for you just a little bit.
A little bit, not too much.
Just
Yep,
get
let me
going
here. Can you pop the board up? I'm gonna come forward
Absolutely.
here. It's sort of a 2-man operation, really.
How's it feeling?
It is good. Good. He's bulldogging around. This is not a coho. I believe this guy here is a brown.
Where is he?
Whoa. I don't know how much I like him fighting on the board.
No. We're gonna get the net.
These are pretty nice little boards, though. These just little inlines like this. It's so nice.
There we go.
There you go.
Nice brownie.
Gorgeous fish. Oh, he
nice.
popped out already. Oh,
That's
boy,
a beauty,
beautiful
Jimmy.
fish.
That's a beauty.
Come here, buddy. These guys are real strong little guys. Oh gosh, look at that guy there. Beautiful fish. Look at that guy. Are we keeping this guy or letting him go?
Oh yeah, no, I'm up for a little.
Michael likes eating these guys here. We'll put him back in the pen.
Betcha.
Welcome to the inner circle. Rotating coverage up to 300 feet gives you a detailed 360-degree view of structure, contour changes, and fish. So you can see them before they see you. Incredible 360 imaging, available for your transom and now for your bow, putting you at the center of the 360 revolution, only from Humminbird.
First one. Oh, big one. Look at that.
Are you finding it harder and harder to spend time with your family? All you need is the right place to reconnect.
Big walleye, Dad.
Got it. Here we go. This is fun.
Northwest Ontario, your place to reconnect.
The Edge is presented by these and other fine sponsors.
Michael likes eating these guys here. We'll put them back in the pen.
betcha.
I think we got a little bit of a program going now.
Yep.
Come here, buddy. Into the pen.
Nice.
There we go.
All right.
The bait of choice so far, scatter wrap shad. The rod and reel, what we got rigged up is a regular walleye rod. This is a Quantum smoked 25 with 10-pound test. One thing that's sort of important here, we also have a fluorocarbon leader actually with about 4 foot, and I have a little tiny barrel swivel right here. The reason for that is actually a sort of twofold. One, that the fluorocarbon is clear. This is really clear water in Lake Superior, but also what the barrel swivel is really nice, that if you have any debris in the water, that a lot of times it'll slide down and get hung on the barrel swivel and won't slide down to the bait. But what we're doing is actually letting this out anywhere between 75 to 80 feet out and back of the boat. Then we put on these little inline planers, and this is the first time I've actually used these smaller ones. Actually, I've used a lot of the slightly larger ones that actually have a lot more drag, but the nice thing about this is you can put it on like a classic walleye rod, and it doesn't have that much drag on the bait. It doesn't have that much pull, and it works really pretty efficiently to really, as you can see in back of the boat here, we got a pretty good spread. We're actually can cover a great deal of water with this much of a spread. We probably have close to 75 to 80 feet at least in back of the boat. That's how much ground we're covering back there. This is a pretty finite release system, and all you do is you just take it and I clip it on, pinch it, spin it around, hold this up. What happens is if this releases, this actually slides through and you can actually reel it right down to the bait. In some cases, we've actually fought the fish in and then we clipped it off, but it works both ways. And then what you do is you just drop it back in, run it out about another 30, 40 feet, and you can see how we're actually sort of really combining the water here.
And combining is a good way to describe what we're doing. The idea behind board fishing is to cover lots of water and get your lures away from the boat. If you've never done this before, there is a method to the madness. Typically we run longer leads and shallower running baits on the outer boards, and shorter leads and deeper running baits on the inner boards. That way, if a fish hits on the outer board, it will ride over the inner board as the boat trolls forward. On many of the Great Lakes, you are allowed 3 lines per angler, so proficient trollers can run quite a few boards at a time.
As you can see, I got a whole bunch of these scatter wraps, and this is sort of an interesting lure because what it does, as you increase speed, that besides just tracking straight, it actually swims out to the right,
we got a
to
fish
the left.
right here.
Oh, right here, I got one. There you go, another one. And guess what, Michael? Yeah, on that particular bait. How do you like that?
I like it.
And what I was saying is, Michael and I have been experimenting. He's been fishing the classic baits that where we've caught a lot of fish on, which is actually a short, or what bait?
Shallow shad wrap.
Shallow shad wrap, and actually, this actually has a little bit of a different action to it, and it seems like it's really working. The fish really like this bait. But the biggest thing is that also, when we're trolling like that, it actually sort of sweeps back and forth. It's got this evasive swimming action, and a lot of times these trout and salmon really like to follow and track in on baits, and that erratic behavior can be really critical to trigger more fish into biting. Michael, you want to get this board?
Sneak by you, grab the board, you bet.
Yep, okay. I don't know what size he is. Oh. Yep.
You're free.
There you go. Oh. Oh. I don't know what size he is.
Nice. I see silver out there.
It's just nice fishing these. Because Lake Superior, in some places around the Great Lakes, you can catch really giant brown trout. And Lake Superior does, you can catch fish up here, 5 to 8 pounds are relatively common.
Yep.
What we've been seeing so far, we haven't seen that bigger one,
We're
but I
still
tell you
waiting
one
on
thing, Michael's really getting his attention about 15. There you go.
Yeah, let's let that little feller go and grow up.
Okay.
And if we can get him out of there quick.
Come here, buddy. Oh.
There we
no.
go. Oh, there we go.
There you go. Boy, aren't they beautiful? And we're fishing in spring, so they got this more of a silver look, but later in fall, that they get a real big kipe on them. They get a lot darker in color. They're really beautiful fish. They really are gorgeous. We get her back in the water. Go on. Replication is a real big thing in this type of fishing, as Michael was saying. When we first got out, we actually started trolling in about 35 to 50 foot zone. We actually caught one fish here. You can see where the waypoint is. But what we've done is gradually moved into shallower water. Now we've been trolling anywhere between about 12 and about 15 to 17 foot of water. The other big thing you'll notice is the water temperature. It's 40 degrees. Actually, some portions of the bay, we've actually seen the water temperature is actually in the 36, so the water's really, really cold, but this is really key. It's our speed. And what we're doing is moving along at as slow as possible. And that's one thing nice with this big tiller. This is a 94-stroke Mercury. It has the ability to actually adjust the RPMs to like a mile an hour. I can actually shift it up and down, actually tenths of a mile an hour, to actually really accurately duplicate a specific speed, depending if we're trolling plugs or spoons, depending on the individual bait, and also because if we're going into the wind or against the wind.
Got a fish on right here.
Ooh, he's smoking a big one there. There you go. There you go.
And there she is, my first Mercury. 154-stroke, the lightweight heavyweight. And she comes with all this. Say hi to Wendy from customer support. She's always there to help. Jerry from product testing, he dishes out the torture. They can take it. Good. And Tim from design, he never misses a detail, obsessed with quality. Bobby, prop engineer, he turns horsepower into performance. This is George.
It's good to have Mercury behind you. Meet the rest of the team at mercurymarine.com.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
For over 65 years, Lund has had an unwavering commitment to build the finest fishing boats on the water. 65 years of dedication, innovation, passion. Lund boats stand up to the elements and the use hardcore anglers put them through, season after season. Built by fishermen, for fishermen.
Suffix 832 is constructed with 7 strands of Dyneema and a single strand of Gore Performance Fiber. It's the roundest, longest casting line in the world. It offers superior abrasion resistance so you can fish it anywhere. It's the strongest, most sensitive, and durable small diameter braid ever to hit the water. Nice fish, Brett.
Thanks.
Suffix 832. Always use the best line.
The Edge is presented by these and other fine sponsors.
But as I was saying, speed is really key, and as you can see, we've actually tuned in the system, and once you do that, it's all of a sudden, it's like the machine, you just duplicate it. You got him still on there, Michael?
Yep, he's a little shaker. Oops, my board's going down.
The nice thing about this is when we're trolling along, what we can do is I can actually take my hand off here, and as you can see, the engine's locked in place, so the boat keeps on tracking straight while I'm in the boat getting the net for Mr. Painter's fish. A lot of times we're trying to keep our other lines out simultaneously. If we don't have a big fish on, we want to keep our other lines working. What? Fish on, fish on, right here. Right
grab
here.
Him, grab him.
Fish on, easy. Oh,
right.
Oh.
Spring fishing is always fun. Where we live in the North Country, we get cooped up in ice shacks for a good portion of the fishing season, so when we get a chance to stretch our legs, we do it. This was the first filming trip of the year, so just getting out on the water was nice. This time of year is traditionally good for getting into big browns. Well, today the fish we caught were not huge, but they were still a good time on light tackle. Hey, the action we had was fast and furious. We had doubles quite a few times and boated cohos and some Chinooks to boot. When it's all said and done, we got a cooler full of good eating, caught fish all day long, and cleared out some cobwebs of a long winter.
Look at that guy there, beautiful fish. You know, one thing, this early season brown trout fishing really gives a small boat fisherman some really unique Great Lakes fishing opportunities.
Hey, one of the hottest things happening in the world of television today is reality TV shows. They're dominating the networks, and there's all kinds of them covering all kinds of subject matter. Yet one of the most absolutely successful shows to come along in many, many years is called Duck Dynasty. You heard me right, Duck Dynasty, and many of you, I'm sure, watched this show. The ratings have been off the charts. A huge success. And the subject matter is different than any other reality show out there. It's about family, a family business, how the family works together on a daily basis, what they do, about God. Hey, and at the end of the show, you know what else happens? They all get together and say a prayer at a meal. Wow, what a change of pace for primetime television, baby. It's a big deal. Here's a book called Happy, Happy, Happy. And it's the story of Phil Robertson, his life story as the head of the Duck Commander. And I want to read you a little bit here of what he says in the prologue. It's really fascinating to me. To be honest, our family isn't much different from other families in America. There's a mom, a dad, 4 grown kids, 14 grandchildren, and a couple of great-grandkids. We started a family business, Duck Commander, which turned into a pretty lucrative enterprise with a lot of elbow grease, teamwork, and God's blessings. But as you find out by reading this book, we've had our share of trials and struggles, like a lot of other families. We've battled alcohol, drug abuse, sibling rivalries, near poverty and despair at the beginning of our time together as a family. It wasn't always like what you see on TV. So except for our very manly appearances, it might not seem that we're all that different from everyone else. But I think what separates the Robertsons from a lot of other families is our faith in God and our love for each other. It's unconditional, and it has been that way for as long as I can remember. For me, the most dramatic part of every Duck Dynasty episode comes at the end, when our family gathers together around the dinner table to eat one of Miss Kay's home-cooked meals. You don't see families gathering up like this anymore. Everybody in America is so busy, busy, busy. Americans are too preoccupied with their cell phones and computers, so they don't take time to sit down with their spouses, children, grandchildren, aunts, uncles, and grandparents to eat a meal together. The family structure is slipping away in America, but not in my house. I thought that was a great read. I love Phil. The book is fantastic, man. And I'm loving seeing programming of this type playing in prime time television. What an alternative to a lot of other stuff that's on TV today. Hey, from all of us here at The Edge, you have a good, safe fishing season. We'll see you on the water. Go for it, Phil. I love it, man.